from the Boston Museum of Science, Sci-Tech Today on NECN.
Sci-Tech Today, there was VHS, then there was DVD, now Blu-ray, and the next technology could be right around the bend thanks to nanotechnology. Alex Fiorentino joins us live from the Museum of Science, Boston. Alex, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Beth.
So tell us all about this new breakthrough. What is it?
Well, scientists from the University of the Swinburne University of Technology in Australia have developed a new technology that could allow them to store a huge amount of information on a disc, like a DVD. Their invention was recently featured on the cover of the journal Nature, and believe it or not, the secret behind this technology is information storage in 5 dimensions.
So it's called the 5D disc. How do they make it?
Let's start simple and start with a regular DVD, and then we'll get to the 5D one. This is a regular DVD, and the information here is not written with words or with numbers, but it's actually written with tiny bumps. This DVD is covered with tiny bumps in the plastic, and these bumps are much too small to see, but they're arranged in one long, continuous spiral. If I were to somehow stretch that spiral out, it would be almost 8 miles long. So your DVD player at home follows that spiral with a laser, and it converts those bumps into the zeros and ones of computer code. So this is really a 2-dimensional piece of information. I can put a bump anywhere I want on the surface of the DVD, but it's still a flat surface.
So how does the new technology make the jump to 5D?
Well, the key to the new technology is that it doesn't use bumps to store information. Instead, it uses much smaller particles called gold nanorods. So to give you a sense of how this works, just imagine that this little box is a tiny area on the surface of a DVD. Just imagine it shrinking down really, really far. If I'm storing information here with bumps, then I can either put a bump in this spot or take the bump away, but there's really only 2 possibilities. Instead, if I try to store this information with nanorods that are many, many times smaller, then you'll see what happens. Suddenly, I've got a lot more information here. And in part, that's because the information is layered. I've got many layers of nanorods here, and also they're different colors. And in addition to that, I've got nanorods pointing in all kinds of different directions. So what this does is it makes the information 3D, and it also gives the scientists 2 extra dimensions of information to work with: color and orientation, which brings them to a grand total of 5.
So how far along are they in this research? Can the discs actually be played in a DVD player yet, or have they gotten that far?
Well, so far, the scientists have only been able to play back this 5D information using laboratory equipment. But in theory, a 5D DVD player could be a lot like a regular DVD player. It would read the disc with a laser, but it would be able to get a lot more information out of every single spot on the disc. So I have an animation that explains a little bit of how this works. By shining different colors of laser light on the sample, you could light up one color of nanorods or another. And by shining different polarities of light, you could light up only the nanorods facing one way or another. So just in this one small area, you could have a lot of different pieces of information stacked, almost like pictures in a flip book, only in this case, the pictures are stacked in 5 dimensions.
So what's the potential here, Alex? How much more data would this let somebody store on one of these 5D discs?
Well, let's just do a quick comparison. A regular DVD has about enough space to fit 1 2-hour standard definition movie. A Blu-ray disc has a little more space because it has smaller bumps. So you could actually store about 12 standard definition movies on a Blu-ray disc. Now, the scientists from Australia predict that they could actually use this technology to make a 7.2 terabyte disc, which would have enough space for about 1,800 standard definition discs or 300 HD discs. So I'm not going to keep stacking these things all day, but you get the idea.
Sky's the limit. Alex Fiorentino, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Beth.